This is the Pound for Pound boxing show in association with 30 South. I'm Jermaine, alongside Lewie Edmondson. How you doing, bro?
All good, thank you, mate. All good. How are you?
I'm very well, man. Thanks for coming on, man. It's a pleasure.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Lewie, obviously, want to talk about you. Obviously, you've got a massive fight coming up this weekend. But I want
Yeah.
to ask you, obviously, you're 4-0. I want to ask you, though, how did you first get into boxing and who's your boxing inspiration?
Oh, growing up, really, I was young, and a lot of my pals boxed. They was all fighting every week, and going to watch them. And yeah, I thought I'd give it a go, and got into it. And then the minute I started, I loved it. Never looked back.
Brilliant, brilliant. Any inspiration you have? Just what do you say? There's your inspiration, your pals.
Yeah, well, none of them box anymore. They're in the pub, so I wouldn't say any of them. But
Okay,
as you get stuck in, get going, and then fell in love with the sport and never look back.
brilliant, brilliant. As I mentioned, you've got a big fight coming up this weekend on Saturday night, live
Yep,
on IFL TV, MTK Global. You're
yep,
fighting Luke Blackledge. I
yep.
want to ask you, do you know much about this opponent going into this fight?
Yeah, I know a bit about him. I know he was Carl Froch's sparring partner for a long time. I know obviously he's been in the ring with the likes of Rocky Fielding, Callum Smith. I know he's been about for years. He's had 40 pro fights, something like that. So he's no newbie to say the least, is he? He's been around for years. He's been in some hard fights. He's been up there with the best in the world, sparring the best. Billy Joe, my manager, sparred a lot with Bill, sparred Carl Froch. Yeah, so he's been about the block, and I know it's a good step up, good test for me.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Obviously, the last time you fought in a matchroom card, right? Was that obviously a massive fight, a world title fight between obviously your manager, Billy Joe
Yeah,
Saunders, against Martin Murray.
yeah,
How did it feel to fight on Sky Sports?
yeah. It was good, It was very, very good, obviously, and Dante Dixon as well, and Billy Joe. We was all in the bubble together, so there's a good team of us. We was all together, and it was a brilliant week. All got the wins done, all got it done in good fashion. And yeah, it was great. The venue was set up there. The matchroom bubble was unbelievable, unreal. It was a great experience, and I was pleased to fight in the venue.
Obviously, you fighting before in the bubble, and I want to ask you though, how is it like fighting without crowds?
Well, I've had two with crowds now and two without crowds. It's a little bit different. Obviously, I normally bring a big crowd with me as well. They're normally going wild, so it's a little bit different. But the job stays the same. I need to get in there, get the job done regardless. Crowds there, crowds not. No one can get in there and fight for you. So same rule applies. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit. You can hear the shots landing a bit more, and I think it's good. You can concentrate a bit more. I think it's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Uh, Obviously, I want to ask you. Obviously, talk a bit about your manager. He's first fighting on a massive show against his unification fight against
Yeah,
Canelo Alvarez. Fantastic
yeah.
fight. Obviously, I want to ask you, how good is Billy looking in training camp, and how great his chances?
Unbelievable. It's the it just looks ridiculous in ridiculous shape. He's flying. He's super fit, and I think he's going to get the job done. I think he's going to shock the world, get the job done, and I'm very confident in that. He's I've got a few bets on here and there. I'm very confident they get it done and shock the world.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he will have to shock the world to win that fight. But
Yeah,
obviously, you're fully behind him. He's very confident. Obviously, he's wanted this fight for a long, long time now, and
yeah,
he's moved over to Matchroom now. Eddie's made that fight possible now, and
yeah,
he's got the opportunity now to show how good he really is.
yeah. That's it. And I think as well, he'll obviously, as we've seen in previous performances, Billy Joe gets better as the better opponent. And I think you're going to see the best of him this time out, 100%.
Brilliant, brilliant. I'm looking forward to that fight, a massive fight, and I
I
can't wait.
can't wait. I don't think I'll be able to sleep that night. I'll be up. Come on.
Yeah, no.
If I'm not over there, I'll be running around the front room shadow boxing, I think.
I think every boxer fan is going to be that. It's going to be a fantastic night, and it's a fight what's been a long, long time coming.
Yeah, can't wait for it.
I want to ask you about, obviously, you're in a fantastic domestic light heavyweight division. You've got so many
I
good up and
say that
coming.
I fought a light heavy, but I'm a super middleweight, really. I fight
Okay.
just above the super middleweight limit, so they put me down as a light heavy, but I'm a super middle. When the time matters and when the bout's on the line, I'll be a super middleweight.
So just confirming, for this fight coming up on Saturday, you're fighting at light heavy, but you're super middleweight usually.
They put it down as a light heavy, but we're in between. We're a little bit above super middleweight limit, but we're under the light heavyweight limit, you know?
Yeah.
So it's in the middle, but they put it down as light heavy because if you don't make championship weight, then they put it down as the next weight up.
Yeah. Obviously, you got some good super middleweights anyway.
Yeah.
You got Zak Chelli, Jack Cullen. You got who else? You got Zach Parker as well. You got so many fantastic domestic fights, and probably one day could happen if you keep winning, they keep winning. But if you could have that one fight with someone you've been looking for a while, who would that be?
100%. It's obviously Zach Parker's. I think he's mandatory for a world title. He's a bit far on, you know. He's ahead, way ahead, good couple of years ahead. But the likes of Jack Cullen, Zak Chelli, whenever. I'm not asked. Like, get to the end of the year and let's get it on. Let's get it on with one of these names. Let's not wait around. Don't mess about fighting this fight, that fight. Get to the end of the year and let's get it on. Jack Cullen, Zak Chelli, Jack Cullen, all these sort of names. John Docherty, whoever wants to fight, they can get it. Simple.
Brilliant. I love that mentality. And I had an interview with Lewie Edmondson a couple of weeks ago, and he said he's about making 50-50 fights. That's what's so different about MTK Global shows, that he makes 50-50 fights. And I believe that he's a man who does that. I love some of the shows.
Definitely. And I think as well, with me, it shows. Like, I've had 3 fights, and then I had a fight against John Telford, who's 14-12 or something like that. And people saying, the Billy Joe, it's too early. He shouldn't be fighting him. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to mess around. Listen, we know how good I am. We don't want to mess around. Went in there, done the job, knocked him out. No one thought I should have been there with him. Again, another big step up. Luke Blackledge, former Commonwealth champion, 40 professional fights, been around the block, sparring Carl Froch for years, sparring Billy Joe, been in there with everyone. Again, another big step up. We're in my 5th fight. We're not here to mess around, taking ages, fiddling about fighting certain people. We want meaningful fights. We want to move forward quick.
Brilliant. Obviously, but my colleague Nando for Pound by Pound has talked about maybe you going for a Southern Area title. Is that on the horizon as well? Hopefully this year, fighting for.
Yeah, obviously I'll leave it down to MTK and Billy Joe. Obviously Billy Joe's guided my career alongside MTK, so I'll leave that down to them. But listen, whatever they put in front of me, we'll have a talk and we'll get it on. There's no problem.
Brilliant. I want to ask you this question. I ask everybody, every fighter I've interviewed. Obviously, it's a massive fight was pretty much on the horizon. Could be happening pretty much soon in the heavyweight division. British heavyweight fight, historic fight. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. I want to ask you though, your predictions. Who wins and why?
Tyson Fury for me every day of the week, every single day. I think Tyson will start off boxing him, being a little bit careful, having a little look, boxing him nice and long, boxing him well, boxing him clever. I think he's too long and awkward for Joshua personally. And I think after a couple of rounds, once he starts catching him, then they start putting it on him, and I think he'll get him out of there between 6 and 8. Brilliant. That's my prediction.
You know, I've interviewed a lot of people, and probably about 15 fighters, and only one has actually gone for Anthony Joshua. The rest of them are all gone to Tyson Fury.
Yeah. What's your prediction? What do you think?
I'm going to sit on the fence for this one, mate. I mean, it's a fight I've always wanted to see for a long time now, and I'm so glad. Hopefully, they can get over the line. This is going to be an iconic fight, probably bigger than Ali Frazier. That's for me. That's obviously of our generation.
I think it's probably the biggest fight to ever happen. I think and anybody that's around to see it should feel honoured, you know. And I just hope it happens, because, you know, it's like there's always a lot of talk and this happened and this happened, but I just hope the fight happens. I think it will, maybe towards the end of the year. And I think maybe it's too big of a fight to have when not crowds are there, with no crowd. But we'll see what happens. We'll leave that to the big dogs.
Yeah, that's what they're getting paid for. So hopefully
That's
they
it.
get over the line and put on some fantastic night for British boxing.
That's it.
Brilliant, brilliant. I want to ask you, obviously, I heard you're a Southampton fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously massive game for you guys on Sunday, cup semi-final. How big would it be for you to get the win and Southampton to get the win and reach the FA Cup final?
It'd just be perfect, big win for me, and then hopefully some big fight news after that. Hopefully win a couple of talks and that. So hopefully, and yeah, then if they win the semi final, it's perfect. It's big year. It's we ain't had the best years for football, but I suppose it's we're getting there. We're trying.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fantastic cup run for Southampton. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. You knocked us out of the cup, so you've been on a great run of form in the cup. So not so much in the league, but in the cup definitely you had a good run. And you never know, it's a 50-50 game. You can possibly go on and get to a cup final. I'm sure it'll be fantastic for Saints fans.
Definitely, and I'm sure they'll be out in their hundreds and thousands and partying, celebrating now things are open.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
No, let's just hope it stays like that and crowds get back into the boxing stadium soon too, eh?
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing, and obviously for a boxer fan like myself, someone who loves the sport daily, you want to be there. You want to be back at those fantastic nights, back at the O2, back at Copper Box. It could be York Hall, Wembley Stadium, Wembley Arena.
You can't beat a good old night at the York Hall, can you?
Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, you can't, and that's something I've missed for over a year. We've been in the pandemic, so hopefully for boxing fans, we can get the spectators back in the venues.
Hopefully, it's been dragging on a bit long now. Luckily, I was thankful. Obviously, I can't thank MTK and Billy Joe enough. I managed to fight twice in December, so I've kept active. But some fighters haven't fought at all, so it must be awful. But just get crowds back and get that atmosphere back, and let's have 500 Southampton fans there rocking the stadium wherever it may be.
Yeah, 100%. I want to ask you though, is maybe one day fight at St Mary's a dream of yours to maybe fight for World title?
100%. Obviously, as much as I'll say I want to fight anybody in this and that, I'm not deluded, and obviously I know I'm a little way away from that. But a couple of years' time, I truly believe that will be happening. That will be happening.
Brilliant, brilliant. Before I let you go, Lewie, I want to ask you, obviously, a special little, have you got anything for your fans who can't be there on Saturday, a little message for them, and for your opponent, Blackledge, on the weekend?
Blackledge, I'm sure he's going to bring his A game. I'm sure he's going to be in there. I'm sure it's going to be a good fight. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night in the ring, brother. And Southampton fans, hold tight, tune in. Soon the crowd will be back. You'll be there on the old lick, as you would call it, and celebrating, rocking some arenas, eh?
Brilliant, Lewie. Absolute pleasure having you on, man. Thank you for taking your time to come on the show today.
No.
And I wish you all the best for the Saturday.
Cheers. Thank you.
Look after yourself. Take care, mate.
Cheers. You too. Thank you. Bye.